I'm going to put my chantilly, and the day you're ready to make a sauce, you combine all this. The only thing you need in cooking is to love cooking. If you don't have any knowledge, the cognac gives a kick of flavor, and the wine is going to bring all these flavors together. I'm going to pour the Bruno. I'm waiting that the reduction of the wine. I want to cross the flavor inside the dish. Hopefully, you have.
Bonjour. Today we are going to cook together with Ken, and Ken actually is the director of all the production, the television production at Ames. And many persons ask me this question: do men are cooking in France? Yes, most of the French people we are cooking, and a minority of women are cooking in France. And today we have Ken will be my sous chef, and it would be very pleasant to share this time with you, Ken.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here, and this will be a real interesting experience, because if anyone out there feels like they can't cook, if I can do it, any of them can do it.
Okay, that's a good point. Today we're going to do some very traditional dishes, and on my mother's side in France, she's from Brittany, that's a Celtic part of France. And on that side of France, it's a lot of galette and crepe cooking. The galette is, if you want, is like a salty crepe, and we use some buckwheat flour. That's the reason why the galette has a darker color. And the crepe will be for second part today, will be a crepe Suzette. That's an international known French dessert. So right now we are finishing to cook a galette. And the galette is made with buckwheat and water and egg base. And when it's cooked on that side, we flip the other side. So this one is almost done. And for enjoying with the staff today, we're going to make, I made a few ones in advance. They never complain when doing this filming, we share some food together.
Bruno's very popular among the staff here.
Thank you, Ken. So the galette, what is very important, to have an idea, when you do some crepe and galette, people think we need a lot of flour, a lot of water, a lot of milk and eggs. No. To give you an example, to make one galette, actually, we use a couple ounces only of dough. So if you make it very thin, you can have all the flavor, and at the same time, it won't be too thick when you eat it. What is important when you do these dishes is to enjoy what you're going to put inside. At the same time, outside will be tasty, but inside very, very tasty too. So today, we're going to do a galette. This one is ready to go. And we're going to do it with chicken and tarragon. We cook a lot with tarragon. Tarragon has a very nice fresh flavor as a fresh herb. And to make the tarragon, we're going to make first the base of the thickener. The reason is I won't make like a sauce blanche, a white sauce. So I'm going to make first the thickener, and after that all the ingredients. Most of the time in a restaurant cooking, where I come from, we do a lot of things separated, and we thicken at the end. But I want to make easier and at the same time tasty for the students we have. So I'm going to put some butter.
Now, is this a specialty of the Brittany area that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, it is.
So my daughter is named Brittany, and that was the area that we named her after.
So we are going to dedicate this dish to your daughter today.
Sounds good.
So we make first the roux. The roux basically is fat and a flour. So we're going to begin with the roux. That's butter and flour. What is important when you make a roux is to cook properly all the flour. You don't want any uncooked taste, and at the same time, you want to golden brown this flour. So when this flour is golden brown, what I'm going to do is to add some chicken stock. And the chicken stock actually will be my main liquid with the cream we're going to add. What we did, we cook in advance the chicken breast. We boil it. First we fry it about 2 minutes in a sauté pan. And after that, we add some water and salt and pepper. And when the chicken breast is totally cooked, we shred it, and your chicken breast is ready to go. So you
How long did that take?
about 20 minutes. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to cook it in a pan, and after that you need to boil it. You need your chicken totally cooked through. So now I have my base of the sauce. So you begin to see the thickening right now, so
Yes.
you want to add some flavor. In my technique of cooking, always I want to add the flavor at the end. The main reason is you can add at the end, you can remove when you put something in excess. You need to control what you are doing. And right now the sauce is ready to receive the chicken. Let me lower a little bit the flame.
And that was literally a pinch that you got out of those containers.
Yes, for the classes, actually I measure everything. So like that, people will feel much more confident to cook by themselves. Because at the beginning, I help them putting the right quantity of everything. But as a reminder, I don't want people cooking the way I'm cooking. I want them, after that, after the cooking classes, I want to show them some techniques. And after they see these techniques, I want them to feel confident with themselves, to continue to cook at home the way they like to cook. Okay? So I don't want to oblige them to continue the same proportion. They can change and play with ingredients. And what is about cooking is having fun doing it with friends, with your family. And I want people to feel confident to do it. So right now I have my chicken was pre-cooked, so I add it to the sauce. The chicken grab all the flavor. And I have some chopped tarragon on it.
So you basically teach them the exact amounts, and then they can vary from that as they see fit then.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. I want people free to do the way they want it, to adjust all the recipes. So right now we have the chicken with this white sauce all together. The sauce actually is going to bring together all the flavor all together. So it's like a pasty consistency right now.
Yes.
So we have a galette we did today. Okay. So I made a few galettes in advance.
Yes.
Okay. This is a buckwheat galette. I will call it as it's not sweet at all. This is a salty crepe, or this is a galette. And actually, about cooking, the buckwheat came from the 1,000 years ago when people from Europe went to Palestine for the crusade. They bring some new ingredients to the French cuisine. And in Palestine, they're using a lot of the buckwheat. And the buckwheat is a kind of flour who grow very well in poor land, in poor country land. And so when we bring back to Europe, Brittany has a very poor quality of land. And the buckwheat was very happy to grow over there. And people were making buckwheat as the main component of their cuisine. And you fill it up, you galette. You spread it evenly. Okay. And we're going to grate with some Gruyere cheese. And also during the classes, always I give options. You can cook with mozzarella cheese if you have it handy. You can cook with Gruyere. Gruyere is similar to a Swiss cheese. So what you do...
And which one is this?
This is Gruyere, actually.
Okay.
This one is shredded already. I know people love cheesy dishes, and this one was a good one. So we put the cheese on the top. We add some flavor. And we're going to grate it just to melt the... And voila. So what is important in this dish? During the classes, we spend actually during the classes a lot of time, maybe 70% of the class, 2/3 of the part of the class doing preparation. Preparation involves making galette, crepes. To make a galette, you need basically eggs, water, buckwheat flour, salt and pepper, and butter, and you mix it. You need to have a better quality of flavor in your cuisine. What is important when you make a dough, that's a very liquid dough, you have to make it about a day in advance. This one actually I made yesterday, So for many, many hours, it was resting and thickening. And when you see the results of that thickening, you add some water if needed. But what you want is to have all this dough with a lot of flavor and ready to be cooked. And after that, as I showed you in the beginning, we cook the galette one by one. And you can keep aside and use it the next day. So I want people comfortable to do some preparation in advance. And after that, to be ready for the day we receive families and friends to do the cooking. So when they're ready, they have a galette handy. They just make the filling at the last minute. It takes just a few minutes to do it. And you just grate it in the oven. And when it be ready, we're going to plate it and you're going to taste it. So right now
The cheese is melting right now.
the cheese is melting. You have to be patient when you're cooking. Sometimes some flavor takes a few more minutes of patience.
We have a saying here, a watch toaster oven never finishes.
Very good. So that dish actually you have many options, and is also one thing we do during the classes. I will show you what kind of ingredient you can use. If you want seafood, you can use salmon, you can use shrimps, you can use lobster, you can use maybe turkey if you want. You can do many different kind of mix of fillings. And on this case, we use chicken today. So this is poulet l'estragon or chicken tarragon. Are you ready for a break today?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent.
This is the best time in our studios here.
Okay.
The time we live for.
What I love of cooking, people think cooking takes a long time, at the same time it's complicated. What is important? Cooking is about simplicity and loving doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you enjoy to cook with fresh ingredients and you make everything from scratch, that's just joyful for yourself and your family and friends who eat with you. So right now we're going to plate it.
See, I didn't get this joy when I was growing up because my mother was one who liked to be the sole person in the kitchen.
Okay.
In fact, I think she would tie me up to a tree outside when she was cooking, so I couldn't get involved.
The funny thing in France is the opposite. Most of the time, women don't stay in the kitchen when men are cooking. One of the reasons, because between friends we are telling many jokes, so it's better sometimes not to have a woman around for this moment. And the other thing, it's, everybody has their own secret, and this secret will be taught during the classes. And Ken, would you like to taste it today?
Absolutely.
This is a chicken and tarragon galette. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Now, because we're on television and we can't wait a long time, if this is extremely hot, I'll attempt not to scream or anything.
It's melting in your mouth.
Excellent. That is just perfect. Just perfect.
Well, Ken, thank you very much today for being my guest.
It's been my pleasure.
That's
Thank you
very
much.
pleasant. We're not finished yet, and very soon we're going to do some crepes Suzette. And so during the break, you can enjoy that, and we continue some crepes Suzette. Thank you
very much.
So Ken, how was your poulet l'estragon today?
That was excellent, Bruno. I almost didn't come back. I was going to stay there and just eat the rest of the day away.
Okay.
In fact, I'm beginning to get a bit of a French accent, I believe.
So Ken, are you ready for dessert now?
I'm ready.
Okay, so now we're going to do the crepe. Actually, that's the sweet one. The galette was the salty, so the crepe now is the sweet one. To make the dough, you need basically flour, milk, eggs, a little bit of salt, add some sugar, and also a little bit of rum, just to give a flavor. And the same thing.
No excuses for the rum.
No excuse for the rum. And actually, I taste some, I love it. And so when you have that done, what you do, you let it rest overnight. Always, it's very good for any kind of dough you make to let it rest overnight. So like that, all these flavors will combine together, and you will be rewarded when you eat the food, but all these flavors will go into your mouth. But basically about my cuisine technique. So right now we're making the crepe.
So planning is important.
Planning is important, and these tips are also shown during the classes. I show you how to buy, how to organize yourself, organize your kitchen, how to plan in advance. So like that, when you cook with friends and family, but you make a great experience. You don't feel stressed and you just enjoy it. And people see you doing things in a few minutes in front of them. Well, it takes sometimes a few hours preparation, a few days before. So the day they come over to your house, that's a very pleasant experience. So right now I'm checking that my crepe is cooked on one side.
Do you find a lot of people now are a computer finds its place in the kitchen these days?
Yes.
Are you finding that for planning purposes and arranging to have the right ingredients and things like that, do you find that that might be a helpful?
To be helpful, what I do is I made already some chicken lists. So you can, if you want, if any person wants the chicken list on his computer, can have it. You can write it down what you need for a special dinner. You can write it down and schedule yourself so like that you are organized to go. Personally, at home, I use a computer for all information I have. I think that's a great tool, and we are already 2003, so we need to use this tool. And to make easy, yes. But for the classes, we print for you recipes and all these techniques we use. If you want it on a disk, this is no problem. So I have my crepe is ready to go. So I cook one just to, okay. So I have a crepe ready to go. You see, it's very thin. It has
Very thin.
a lot of smell of all these good things we put in it. And now we're going to make the crêpe Suzette. The crêpe Suzette, actually, it's a very known international French recipe, and it is not complicated. The only thing you have to be careful when you flambe, because this dessert has a flambe technique. Don't do it on your, under the stove under your hoods when you cook at home, because the flame can burn your kitchen. So when you cook this dish at home, first what you do in your sauté pan, you add some sugar with no water, just plain sugar. So simple like that. And you heat it on the stove. When your sugar will be ready, we're going to add the orange juice, and we're going to flambe with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier actually is orange liquor from France, and it's very sweet. If you want it less sweet, you can use some Cointreau. You can find it also in the store. And if you want brandy orange liquor, you can use it also. You can use also Curaçao, orange Curaçao. You have many options. And during the classes, I give everyone all these options. So like that, whatever you have handy at home, you can make something. And that's funny because sometimes I go to some friend's house and everybody is looking at each other and say, well, we're going to have dinner tonight. So sometimes they ask me the question, Bruno, can you have a look what we have in the kitchen and make something in a few minutes? So I open the fridge and I say, okay, we can do that, and that, because I saw what kind of things we have. And when I teach cooking, I do it in the same spirit. I want people feeling comfortable is when they open the fridge and they can immediately say, okay, I have that, so I can do this thing, and they make everyone happy at home. And what is cuisine about?
That's
make
worth
people,
$1 million.
That's worth $1 million. And what it's about is to make everyone happy. So now when we have the caramel ready, just be careful, it's very hot. You add some orange juice on it. Just be careful when you do this dish because it's so hot you can get burned. So just be careful.
That would be a bad thing.
But you begin to have some flavor. What I like of cooking is when I like to do it with friends and my family around. Meanwhile, you cook and you talk and you can have a glass of wine. You can talk, tell stories, and just joie de vivre.
Same as we do in the studio, except we have cameras.
Well, I see some smile today, so that means they are looking forward to have a nice dessert. But you'll be the first one today to enjoy it.
It is great to be king.
So right now, what is important, I want the sugar and the orange juice make one. Okay, so it's boiling. And you have many options. If you want low fat, don't put any butter on it. I love butter a lot. That's the reason why I'm keeping myself thin. Actually, you have, when you cook, some good fat and bad fat. And butter, when it's properly cooked, is a good fat. But that's a way to cook it. All these tips I teach during the classes.
Excellent.
I teach you what kind of ingredient you can use, how to use it. Sometimes butter can be good for dessert. Sometimes when you cook with butter at a high temperature, it's not good. It burns. So all these things, they are tips, and it's teach during the classes.
It's a regular science, isn't it? Nutrition.
It's what is the nutrition part is a science, and what is the way to do it is an art. So I think that's a good mixture between the two things, art and science. And the other thing is about culture. When you cook with somebody, you show your culture. And when you eat it together, you show the best of your culture and share with somebody else. I think if everybody cooking this way, there will be no war anymore, because with cooking will be plenty enough to get satisfied. And it's what I love of cooking. So right now...
What I ate during the break certainly satisfied me.
Thank you. Well, it's not over yet.
Not
Do
over.
you have some room for dessert?
I think we'll make some.
Okay. So right now it's bubbling a lot. That means a lot of water. It's leaving the pan. So what I want is to have a kind of thickness to finish my crêpe Suzette. So in a few seconds you'll be ready for flambé. You can see all these caramel and orange juice boiling and bubbling. Okay, it's ready to go. We have a very nice dark caramel.
Okay.
And now we're going to flambe it. This kind of flambe, in comparison with other flambe technique, you don't see the flame as much. But be careful. If you put your hands above the pan, you can burn very badly. It's extremely, extremely, extremely hot. We have some flambe technique with very hot boiling sugar, and you be very careful when you do this dish.
I don't know if it shows on the cameras, but the flame's about that high.
So what you want is to have this Grand Marnier mixing with orange juice and the sugar. Just three things, that's it. Now, this is up to your imagination. You want to thicken it with the sauce, you want some dairy taste, have an option. You can add the butter on it. Other options, you can have some orange slices or lemon slices or some lemon zest you can add on it. Again, this is up to you. I don't want anyone to feel obliged to cook in a certain way. I want you to decide the way you want to cook. But I will show you during these classes many ways to do it, and after that, from that, you begin to cook at home and to feel confident to do it. What I'm doing right now, we have some sugar caramel is on the bottom of a saucepan. We don't see it because we have the bubbles on the top. So what I want to do is to have everything mixed evenly. Otherwise, you have to be very careful when you do that. And also the butter gives that thickness also at the end, and I don't want the butter burn. Okay, so my sauce is ready now. When the bubbles are getting smaller, so that means there is less water on it. Are you ready, Ken, for your dessert?
I'm ready for whatever you're going to do next, Bruno.
Okay, so this is a crepe, ready to go. And the crepe, what it's going to do, I do it in my hands. Don't try it at home. Use tongs or anything. What I'm doing right now, I want the crepe swallowing. Actually, the crepe, I want it happy also. So I want this crepe swallowing the juice, the sauce. Do you want the crepe more happy today?
Yes, happy.
Okay,
this is a good day for
let's
happy.
flambe again. So we are going to add some more Grand Marnier.
It's already a lot of action in there.
Oh yes. I want everyone happy here. And we're going to finish the dessert. And voila.
Some excellent technique there.
It's so simple. What is important is
It's all in the wrist.
on the wrist, and it's very simple. So now we have the crepe ready to go. Okay. And
This is the part that we all live for here in the studio.
I see everybody smiling right now, so that means they like the smell. You can add some lemon if you want. Okay. You can put oranges, you can put grapes, you can put what do you have in your kitchen.
You can make a face.
You can make a face and whatever you want. That's up to you. But the thing is, that dish, it's so simple like that and has a lot of flavor. And voila, we have a crepe Suzette. Do you want to taste it?
I think I do. All eyes are on me here. I hope I do this right. This is excellent. Now, you used your thumb. I can use my thumb.
No problem.
Okay.
That's quite
Get it
hot,
right.
but that will be okay, yes.
Excellent. Well, Bruno, certainly appreciate being here and being able to enjoy this with you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for being with us, and we'll see you again next month.
Merci beaucoup and have a nice day. Thank you for being my guest today.